So this is the masthead of William Lloyd Garrison's original abolitionist newspaper, but it's colorized because it's the Liberator dot today. I was 50 years old when I heard my first ever sermon on hope, the first that I could recall. And mind you, I grew up in a Baptist church. I attended Moody Bible Institute where we had chapel services every single day. When's the first time you heard a sermon dedicated to the topic of hope? When was the last time? My name is Lowell Bliss. Welcome to episode 1 of the Liberator Today's video series on hope. Perhaps your experience was more timely than mine. That first sermon on hope, I had to track it down myself. I found it on the internet. John Stott preaching at All Souls, Langham Place in London. Here's the web link. You know, it's surprising, really. Hope is considered one of the 3 so-called theological virtues, along with faith and love. We hear a lot about those other 2 virtues. If you go to a church with any sort of exegetical emphasis, then you know all about word studies. What biblical words do you know in Greek, Hebrew, or Latin for the English word love? Or to ask that another way, what of these biblical words for love do you recognize? And how about the concept of faith? What biblical phrases about faith have you picked up over time? For instance, if you have faith like a mustard seed, or we have been saved by grace through faith. Without faith, it is impossible to please God. Now, however, what is the biblical word, Greek or Hebrew, for hope? 1 Corinthians chapter 13 is the great passage about love. If Hebrews 11 is the great passage about faith, what passage of the Bible would you turn to prepare a sermon on hope? You get the point. Hope has been overlooked. I don't think it is too tongue-in-cheek to say that you are more likely to hear hope used in church in such phrases as, I hope you can attend our Christmas Eve service, or I hope you feel better soon, or I hope there aren't peanuts in this dessert. We are not strangers to the word. It's a regular part of our vocabulary. But I suggest that we know very little about its robust theological meaning or its practical application. This was to fulfill what was spoken about Jesus through Isaiah the prophet. Behold, my servant whom I have chosen, my beloved in whom my soul is well pleased. I will put my spirit upon him, and he shall proclaim justice to the Gentiles. He will not quarrel, nor cry out, nor will anyone hear his voice in the streets. A battered reed he will not break off, and a smoldering wick he will not put out, until he leads justice to victory, and in his name the Gentiles will hope. That is too strong of a poem, too vibrant a prophecy about Jesus for the last word to simply mean expectation, desire, or wish. And in his name the Gentiles will hope. Hope has got to be commensurate to the name of Jesus Christ. It has got to transcend the abandonment that we Gentiles have felt and do feel. It has got to be equal to the task of believing that justice will be led to victory. Let's not beat ourselves over the head that we have neglected the study of hope. As Jacques Ellul will reassure us, hope has its necessary season. We'll explore next week one of the reasons why we have neglected hope. For now, let's end with 3 things. Number 1, the humble admission that begins all successful investigations. We don't know much yet about our subject matter. Number 2, a commitment not to give up on hope if we haven't really understood it to begin with. And number 3, this simple prayer. Jesus, your disciples came to you and asked, teach us to pray. In 2018, we come to you and ask, teach us to pray with hope. I am Lowell Bliss, Christian environmental missionary and climate activist. Thank you for visiting the Liberator today.